Okay. A very good morning, guys. Can you all, before we start, can you all let me know if you all can hear me and also see a screen? Yes. Loud and clear? Right. Good. Today, guys, is the start of our past paper class that we have been talking about in the theory and revision classes. Also, we have been talking about this, that we will start things off. So finally, here we are in day one of our past paper class. So in terms of the class itself, I'll take the first 30 minutes to give you all a bit of a plan on how we are going to finish off all these past papers and what you need to do on your end. So just to give you all a bit of a briefing, and once that is done, we will then get straight into the first set of past papers. So how the program works, what you need to do, how are you going to write answers, we'll talk about all of that along the way. Right. So with that being said, let me share my screen. We'll get started without wasting any more time. So starting off. The class will be until 10 today, Rama. I think we will finish off until 10. We'll see. Sharing my screen. So we'll start with Lamai, a small introduction, okay, of how things are going to work and what you need to do to get best use of this whole program. Right. So guys, this whole past paper class is something that I do entirely free. I have been doing this from the 2021 batch onwards. So this is the fourth batch that I am doing this past paper class for. So I do it usually completely free of charge, especially for two reasons. One is the fact that past papers are so important. If you look at your A-level paper, Lamai, around 80% of the questions that you get in your actual paper, the one that you will be most likely doing it this October, 80% of questions that come in that paper will already be there in past papers. So it's already been tested in a past paper. Sometimes you might have that exact question put. Sometimes they might take that question, twist it around a little, and they might give. So 80% of the questions are going to be like that. There's going to be a remaining 20% that will come a bit newly. So with past papers alone, you can get 80% of your paper done. That's how important your past papers are. So that's one reason that I do it completely free. I want everyone to come, make best use of this whole past paper class. Another reason that I do this is given that how important past papers are, even if someone is not able to afford, I know not everyone comes from a very rich family background. I know how hard it was for my parents to pay off school fees to class fees and all of that. So even if you can't afford a theory class, a revision class, maybe you're not even going to school, maybe you're a private candidate. So it doesn't matter. You can come free to this past paper class for the rest. For the remaining, I will most likely go until around another 6 months until I finish all the papers. So this class starting from today will go on till somewhere around end of September, maybe a bit of October as well, until we finish off all the past papers. So for 6 months, every week, we will get this done. Now, in terms of the class time, for March only, I will be doing it in the morning because now these couple of weeks, I think you all have school holidays with O levels and all of that happening. That's why I'm doing it in the morning. So today we have the class in the morning right now. Next week, we'll also have the class in the morning. But after that, from April onwards, your permanent class time is going to be on Friday night. So Friday night, the time would be from around 7 to 9. Going forward, I will increase the time a bit. We'll start from around 7 to 9 from April. It will go till around, let's say, 7 to 10. Here and there, there can be increases that will happen. We might have a couple of extra classes here and there as well. That, depending on how we are going, how the plan is working out, I will let you know. In terms of the recording for this class, given that I do this class completely free, I usually don't provide the recording of the class. I record it and keep it for myself, but I rarely provide it. Now, for the last batch, I did not give it. It was not sent anywhere because The reason that I do that is I don't want anyone to take this class for granted. Now, what happens is, Lamai, when something is given for free, no one takes it, no one values it. Now, I can easily charge, a small amount from you every month and do this past paper class. The only difference I will do if I charge a certain amount is I will print that tute. I sent you a 5-page tute with the past papers. So likewise, every week there is a tute. There'll be around 4 tutes that you will get this month. The only difference, if this was a paid class, I will do it exactly this way. I will just print that past paper tute and give it to you. And I will at least, let's say, charge you 1,000 rupees a month, which could have easily helped me get a lot of money as well. But I don't want to do that. But given that I'm doing it completely free, given that I am ready to put so much of time on my end to make the tutes, to make the slides, to do the class for the rest of the 6 months, it's only fair on your end if you get the best use of it. So I don't want anyone to take me for granted. That's the reason I don't provide the recording. I might sometimes put the recording on YouTube, but for now, I have decided that I will not. In case I do, I will let you know. I will send you the link on the group. There's nothing that I will lose. My YouTube channel is not a monetized channel. I don't get anything, any money from the amount of views that you all watch or anything. If you want, I will consider, but not right now. So right now, I want you to come and get things done. Okay. So with that being said, Lamai, for those who don't know me, I'll give you a small introduction of what I do and how I have been doing this. I did A-levels back in 2017, not very long ago, but maybe for you all might sound a bit long ago now. I did A-levels in 2017. I did my A-levels at St. Thomas's, Mount Lavinia. I was among the top 50 in the island during that year in the commerce stream. I did the normal 3 subjects. A lot of people ask me, sir, what are your subjects? I just did the normal 3 for commerce, accounting, business, and econ. And then right after A-levels, given that I got a good island rank, given that I knew so much of econ, I understood the subject, I liked the subject, I thought I should not end that knowledge with me. So what I started doing is I started doing a few classes, not in a very big scale, somewhere around in 2018, right after A-levels. I started off with a few individual classes. I taught Edexcel, London A-level, Edexcel, Cambridge syllabus. I did all of that as well. Along with that, I then started to go to uni. So I went to the University of Colombo, Faculty of Management and Finance, specialized in economics in my last couple of years. So got my degree in econ. Along the way, I completed CIMA as well, was a part of road track in the in uni, right? So did a lot of things. And by 2022, degree was done. I'm graduated, I've done everything. By that time, classes have scaled up. What started somewhere around in 2018 with, let's say, a small set of individual students did start to scale up. And right after uni, I also started working. So I started working in this firm called Frontier Research. It's completely a macroeconomic research firm. So that is my full-time job. I work as a senior research lead. It's more like an economist type of a role. So my actual job itself is doing all this econ work. So what I do in terms of work is we do certain forecasting. We forecast exchange rates. We forecast interest rates. What we do, we do different reports on what is happening in the country. So mainly it's more like an advisory consultancy kind of a role that I play. We do advise, we provide consultancy services for many leading companies in Sri Lanka and a few around the world as well. So we usually have presentations in their boardrooms. We tell them what is happening in the country, how they can prepare, what might happen, right? So I'm very updated with what's happening in the country as well, because on one end, that's my job. And I don't want to let that job go also, because it's a very interesting thing. It's not the same thing every day that's happening in the country. The Sri Lankan economy itself is a very crazy one. So much of interesting things happening. So that's a very interesting job, a very flexible job as well on my end. They know that I do classes. They fully support that as well. So now, even right now on a Friday morning where I'm supposed to be working, I'm here right now in front of you doing this class. So that's not an issue. It's a very flexible thing. And the other reason that I don't want to let that job go is because it helps me teach better compared to a normal teacher who just does full-time teaching in terms of econ, who sticks to a textbook, who sticks to a teacher's guide. I think that experience that I bring in from the fact that I actually work in the real world with all of these econ stuff helps me make the whole teaching much more interesting, and it complements very, very well. So that's why I am doing that. And for the reason that I also work, I don't do a physical class. Many of you all have asked me. I just don't have the time, Lamai. I feel that online works pretty well. My students have got results. I have a small slide. I will show you that as well. More than 60-70% of them have ended up getting an A. So classes have worked. I usually like to call my online class a class that works. So it's not a big issue. I don't see a reason why I should get into a physical class, because I feel online is much more convenient. I totally understand that the interaction is a bit less. You don't have your friends around. It might not be very, very fun. But if your objective is not having fun, if your objective is here to learn and get things done, I think it completely is working. It's very easy. You save a lot of time. You save a lot of money when it's online. You have the recording as well, especially in my theory revision classes. I give you the recording. I give you everything. So you will never miss and you can get things done. Right. So that's a little bit about me. Then going forward, Lamai, you roughly have in terms of times. So we'll assume that your exam is somewhere around in October, let's say mid-October. If it's around in mid-October, how many months do we have right now? Now, this is somewhere around mid-March, maybe a little bit late March. You have around how many months? You have around 7 months to go, no? Maybe if you cut off a few things here and there, it might be there. Date is on September. I think it should be on October. I'm not very sure. We'll see. It's officially, it's not released. The last time I checked, it was around in October. Even if it's in September, not an issue. Okay, right. October 21st is what they say. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so it looks like, looks like October. Okay, so it looks like 7 months. So exactly 7 months from now. Today is the 21st of March. So what we do in this 7 months is going to have a big impact. Date might change, Lamai. Don't worry about that. For now, think of it as October towards the end. Admissions for private candidates, I'm guessing it's not opened yet. If it is open, Lamai, just let me know. I will share the link and all of that in the past paper class group as well. Okay. So then, Lamai, with 7 months to go, I'll give you a small target that you need to have. Now, different people are at different levels, Lamai. Now, some of you all maybe you are starting right now to study. Some of you all are already at a very good level. Some of you all are somewhere in the middle. But just to let you know the type of competition, I think I have showed you this slide before as well, maybe initially when we started theory or revision. You have roughly around, Lamai, you have around 100,000 students that is out there who does commerce. From this 100,000, English medium is actually pretty low, Lamai. I recently checked in government schools in 2021 or 2022, government school English medium students, there were only around 2,000. But then there are private candidates, international schools. So all of that put, you're looking at around maximum 4,000 to 5,000 English medium students, some amount of Tamil medium students, and majority of them in the Sinhala medium. So roughly you're looking at around 100,000 students doing commerce, and some of the art students also do econ, and those are also out there. So then a simple target that I would put out to you is you have time to go with all the work that we will be doing. I'll give you a little bit of a roundup on that as well. Your target can be, Lamai, one is to get that 3 A's, but don't settle at 3 A's. Target for something a bit more. 3 A's is something, Lamai, at times you will realize everyone gets. Everyone can anything, everyone anyway. But you will see most of the people you hear now, mata 3 A's, mata 3 A's. So instead of just a 3 A, Lamai, target for something a bit higher. So what I would initially keep as an expectation is try to get into at least that top 100 in the island. Out of 100,000 students, I'm asking you to have that target to come among the top 100, top 200. Now, if you can come among, let's say, Lamai, the top 200 in the island, so coming among the top 200 in the island කියන්නේ ළමයි. You need to also realize this. Coming among the top 200 is something that I always tell my students. The island first to the island 200th, all of them ළමයි are equally talented. So the gap between the first in the island and the 200th in the island is a couple of marks here and there, ළමයි. Couple of marks here and there, a few Z-score movement based on your subjects. It's very small changes. So that is not under your control. That depends on ළමයි on that day of the exam. No matter how prepared you are right now, you might be the smartest student right now, but at the day of the exam, if you go and do some careless mistake, if you go and add something wrong, if you go and mess something up in the MCQ thing, that is what your result becomes. No? So in terms of that, you don't worry. You don't have to become the first in the island. You remember that if you can come among, let's say, the top 100, top 200 in the island, you're equally as good as the first in the island. It's just that on that day of the exam, you would have made a small careless mistake. Some addition would have gone wrong. That's all right. That's not under our control. We'll focus on what we can control and we'll try and get there. So then, ළමයි, that is the target that I want you to set. And this is not an unrealistic target. You can get there. I started believing that you can get there is after I was among the top 50 in the island. So in 2017, I was among the top 50 in the island. And I personally know, I'm not telling a story of a student, I'm telling my own story here. Because I know how much I studied. I know how much of things that I was doing while I was in school. Right? So I had a girlfriend while I was in school. I did all the a few sports out there, was different clubs. I was a part of the prefects guild. So we did so much of other things as well while studying. But you need to know when to prioritize what. It's not about going all in on something. Prioritize certain things when you have to. If you can get that done, I am not a person who studied for hours and hours and hours and hours. Just be smart enough to know when to study, when to draw the line on certain things. You can get there. Okay. So with that being said, with that being your target, I want all of you, whether you're starting from scratch today, that's all right. I want all of you, your target, not just the 75. We are aiming for something much beyond that. So if that is the case, if you're aiming for something much beyond that, and given that we are doing this whole class online, just a small recap of how my students did. I think this was there at the back of my flyers as well. I'm not going to go too much in detail. It's there at the back of my tutes. So in terms of my students, they've done pretty well. 2024 results, I think, will be out next month. But for now, the 2023 results, out of the around the 185 students that came and told me their result, around 60% have A passes, 77% have A or B passes, and around 23 of them out of this 185 were among the top 100, not in the island, were among the top 100 in the district. Some of them were among the top 100 in the island, but district-wise, different students had different districts. They were among the top 100 over there. So that itself, I think, is something of proof that this class works. And whatever that I'm telling you, if you take it seriously, you can also be among this. The first 100 is Japura. That doesn't matter, Lama. It depends on what you want to do. So usually, yes, in Japura, the accountancy one is the one that has the highest one there. Is 6 months enough for you to get an island rank? I think it's more than enough. It depends on how well you get things done. I'll give you a plan. Okay. So then, in terms of your units, you all know, Lamai, you have 12 units out there. Just want to check with you, for those who go to school, for those who go to, I don't know, different classes, how many units have you all covered so far? Or at least what unit are you currently doing in school, class? What's the most updated recent unit that you all are doing? What are we doing? No, these are actually my old tube covers, not the new ones. These are the ones that I gave for my listing. What are you all doing right now? Okay. Most of you all look like you all are in somewhere around 8, 9. Some of you all are in 7. Okay, so 8, 9. Okay, in my class, yes, I'm doing unit 10, but overall in general, most of you all are around in 8, 9. Good, right? So the syllabus itself has 12 units. Unit 1 to 6 is the grade 12 syllabus. Unit 7 to unit 12 is the grade 13 syllabus. The paper structure and all of it, I will go through maybe a bit later. But you sometimes, Lamai, even to get that A, you don't have to be thorough with all of these units also. If you even can specialize in certain number of units, you can get that done. So along the way, I will show you how we can do that. But broadly, these are the units. And in terms of past papers, how this class would work, I will not be doing Lamai paper by paper. Now we will be doing past papers from 2011 to 2024. That's what we have for now, 11 to 24. So from 11 to 24, I will not be doing my paper by paper. In sense, I will not be doing the entire 2011 paper, then moving 2012, never. Because you all haven't finished the syllabus. So without finishing the syllabus, you can't do a full paper. So therefore, what we will do is we will do the papers, Lamai, unit-wise. First, we will do all the unit 1 questions. Move it to unit 2, unit 3. So little by little, we will keep on moving on like that. Because we can't do a full paper. If I start doing a full paper with you, most of you all halfway down the paper, you all will be a bit demotivated. But by the time we come to, let's say, unit number 7, 8, 9 and all, hopefully 7, 8, 9, that will take around 3-4 months for me also to get there. So that means in whatever class, in whatever school that you are a part of, you would have covered those units. Okay. And I'm repeating again, Lama, this is a past paper class. This is not a theory class. This is not my revision class. So on one end, you can't expect me to teach the very basic theory. So if someone has not heard at all about the unit, coming and doing a past paper will be too hard. What I am teaching right now will be utter Greek. You will not be able to understand. It's a past paper class, so I am with the understanding that you have learned your theory somewhere. Self-learned hari, school hari, some other class hari, anywhere. I'm with the impression that you have learned theory. You're not 100% okay, that's all right. But now, for example, if I say something called microeconomics, if I say something called PPC, if I say something called market economics, so you need to know what those are. I'm not going into the basics saying, Alamai, this is what the PPC is. Nah, we will be doing the papers directly. So that's the standard that I would set, because I don't want any of you all to have different expectations that this will cover theory in this past paper class. No, not covering theory in the past paper class. It's a past paper class. Right. So then we're going to do past papers unit-wise. And what I have done, Lamine, to make it even more easier for you all, now, one unit is also very big. Now, if you take unit number 1 is also, it's big. So what I have done, listen carefully. I have divided every unit. My revision class students, you must be familiar with this division, but the others, listen. I have divided every unit into certain parts, Lamai. Now, if you take unit number 1, I have divided into 4 parts to make it easier for you all to study and also make it easier for you all to do the papers. So now this week, that is our very first class, what we are working on is in unit 1, we are working on focus area number 1. Unit 1, focus area number 1. So this tute, I have sent you, Lamai, in the class group. So focus area number 1 is the very initial part of unit 1, that is micro and macro econ, positive and normative statements, resources and goods. That's the first part of the unit. So what I want you to do is, Lamai, our target, maybe today we might not be able to finish the entire thing, but going forward, every week, we will finish one focus area. That's the ultimate target going forward. But maybe today we might not, because this introduction session is happening, we might not finish everything, but we'll try. Okay. So every week we will do one focus area. Now you need to plan things out. So how are you going to plan things out? I will be sending this tute at the start of the week. Maybe if possible, I will send it even before and keep. You know, your class happens when now from April onwards, Lama, it happens Friday night. Let's say 7 to 9 p.m. 7 to 9 p.m. Because I will not be printing any tute and sending. The revision class people, you have the printed version. The others, you can get a printout. I have sent you the PDF. I got your emails from a Google form that is to send all the tutes at once. I'll add you to a, not courier it, I will add you to like a Google Drive folder. I hope you have registered. We'll look in that later. For now, give me a second. So you all know, Lamai, your class happens when? On Friday night. So if your class happens on Friday night, you know, during that week, there is a paper that you need to do. And in that paper also, it's not an entire unit paper, Nilamai. That paper is also broken into a specific focus area. So you know, for example, this week, you're doing focus area number 1, that is microecon, macroecon, and all of that. So what you can do is, you spend this week to study that part line, study that focus area, the topics that I have given. You have any tute that you have studied, you're studying it, study that area, do the questions, come to class. Then next week, that is week number 2, I will do focus area number 2. That is the next part of unit 1. That is on scarcity, choice, opportunity cost, the basic economic problems. The third week, focus area number 3. That is economic systems, market economy, command economy, mixed economy, the social market, socialist market, unethical. And then focus area number 4 is on production possibility curve, increasing opportunity cost, decreasing constant opportunity cost, economic efficiency, and all of that. Same split as it was in the revision class. Revision class people, you all have this paper, right? The printed paper that I sent is there with you. It's just that the 2024 questions are not there, right? So then that's how things will be broken down. Every week, our target is to get one of these papers done. So to get these papers done, Lamai, now during class, you can't do the paper. You have to study that area, whatever theory note, whatever revision note you have something, Lamai, study that, do the paper. The paper will take roughly around 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of the paper. I think this, how many hours did it take, Lamai, for you to finish off this focus area 1, the ones who did? 2 hours? There were so many questions repeated also, no? Paper 2, well, same thing would have come again and again and again and again. 2 hours? Yeah, most of y'all, 2 to 2.5 hours. So that amount of time you have to spend on your sideline. I can't come next to you and hold your hand and write answers for you. So you figure out, you can break it into smaller parts. You can, one day you can stay up at night and get it done. Maybe early morning. That depends on you. Somehow do the paper, get these things and come, then you will be able to finish this off. So in 6 months, likewise, like how I have broken unit 1, the other units also I have broken it. Every week we do a paper. In 6 months, we will finish it off. I will not be correcting the paper personally. There will be another place where we will be doing those past papers. Then I will correct it. For that, I will come. Right. Is that clear, Lamai, how the class works and how it goes every week and what you need to get done? Because otherwise, you're not going to make best use of it. Don't just come here and look at my face and wait. You come here and look at my face and wait. There is nothing that you're going to learn. Do the questions, study that area, and then you come. I'll tell you when I will do the full paper. Right. And then that's how the papers get done. And then what I want you to do is, Lamai, I want you all the answers that you write to systematically file them. Get a file. Maybe you can, if you all have a punch, now you have a print out of that paper. So along with that, now paper 2, what you need to do? Yes, 1 week, 1 focus area, correct? Right. So for paper 2, Lama, you don't have space in that tube to write. You will have to write it in full caps. So think that is your actual A-level exam and write answers properly on a full cap level. And once you're done, if you have a book also, that's also fine. But I will recommend a full cap because then you can attach everything, the paper and your answers. So you can attach everything, punch everything together. What I want you to do is, Lamai, now we will have around 35 focus areas. Only the first one I have given you so far. So there is 34 more to come. So for every focus area, MCQs, now you can do it on the tute. The essay questions, write in full caps, and then attach it, Lamai. And you have to have all of this in one place. I'll tell you the reason for this, Lamai. 1, I don't want your answers to get lost. 2, around 1 month before your exam, I'm telling you this today, right? Today is March. Somewhere around in September, you're going to be very stressed out. Yeah. Econ, I feel you will not be stressed out because syllabus is done by March itself. You will be okay. But other subjects, there will be so much of things happening. You will be a bit stressed out. That is for sure. You will start thinking, "Ayo, I have forgotten everything. I have so much to do. What do I do?" But then, Lamai, when you look at that file, by that time, by somewhere around September, the file, if you have properly done all this past paper work, your file, Lamai, you will have around 200, 300 pages that you have written. The moment you see that, that will give you a lot of confidence. You will see, wow, I have done so much of answers. I have wrote so much of things in the last 6 months. So when you're in a position that you're down, stressed out and all of it, and when you see that file, all that you have nicely done and systematically filed, that will be that emotional support that you get. That will motivate you that you can get this done. So you have to start it from now onwards. One by one by one. All of a sudden, you will not have a 200, 300 page answer. So what you do, you get the tute, your answers you write on full caps. In the tute, Lamai, highlight in that paper I have given, highlight, paste sticky notes. If there's an additional thing, make a short note and paste on that. You be creative as much as possible. That's up to you. I have nothing. So then, with that being said, by 6 months, I want you, maybe once you're done with everything, when the past paper class finishes, send me a small video of your entire file, of your file and all your answers. That itself will give you a lot of satisfaction. Trust me when I say this. You have to get work done weekly. In 6 months, when you see that file, you will understand how happy you are. Right. So make sure that your answers are filed. Right. So then there were a few questions on chat box. I knew that would come. That's why I had this slide as well. So what's happening in my paid class now? This is my free past paper class that I do now. So I also have a theory and a revision class that I do online, just like this, online. Recordings are given on the website. Printed tutes are couriered to the doorstep. Method tute and free. So theory class, you have the tutes, all of it being sent. So in terms of theory and revision, I will right now not recommend you to join. The reason for that is, Lamai, I am finishing, for the ones who have not been a part of my classes, I am finishing the theory and the revision class syllabus by the end of this month. Now, end of this month, today is the 21st. It's 10 days. No? In another 10 days, I will finish the entire theory and the entire revision syllabus as well. Not only theory, revision is also done by the end of March. I do it that way. One reason is so that my students are able to have enough and more time to then recap things, to do full papers after that, because otherwise you can't. Now, when a teacher finishes the syllabus with 1 or 2 months for the exam, Lamai, that's not enough time personally, what I feel. So that's why I finished the syllabus way in advance, around 6, 7 months to go, so that there is enough and more time for you to do full papers, go back and things. You can do all of that. So I will not recommend you to join this month, because right now I'm in the last parts of unit number 10 and I have a little bit of 11 and 12 to finish off. So with this month, that is done. If you want, where you can be a part of is from April. Now, once I finish my theory and revision class syllabuses, from April onwards, there also I have a limit on the number of students that I will be taking in. 26 class again, I'm doing unit number 3, theory class. If you're on the 26 batch, that's a different story. This is a 25 batch. So from April onwards, Lamai, what I will do is I start something called a fast track program. Now, this fast track program is after I finish theory and revision. This month I'm finishing it. I finish theory and revision in March. In April, I start a fast track program. How does the fast track program work, Lamai? This is a program. It's not for the, I would say, it's not for the people who like to take the easy way out. It's a lot of work to do. You have a study plan that you get that is over here. I will print and give you a study plan next month. In this study plan, you will have the things, all the things that you need to get done in the next 6 months. Along with that, every month, you will get a book, Lamai. So for example, I just put my last year's book covers. So for every month, you get a book. It's a 6-month program. So in the first month, I will cover unit number 1 to 3. How it will be covered, Lamai? We will not go through the basic theory. We will not be doing. The focus of the whole fast track Yeah, the study plan right now is only for econ. I'll see if I can add a few other subjects as well, but mainly it's for econ. What happens in the fast track is Lamai, theory and revision done. So you have the basic idea. Fast track is there, Lamai, to put you into that 90-95 level. Push you to that island rank level is where the fast track program is designed. So to get to that 90-95 level, Lamai, you also need to understand there's a lot of work that needs to happen. You can't be studying on the days that you have a good mood, then eva karanda bad. So there is a study plan, there is a weekly plan, what and what you do daily. You get that done, you will come to that 90-95 level in 6 months. You need to have consistency. Other පාඩම් කරනවා, හෙට break එකක් ගන්නවා, tomorrow trip එකක් යනවා, not gonna work. You consistently get things done, you will do. I have not opened registrations yet, Lamai. Once I open, I will let you know, but this is there for April. April, I will start it right after the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. So it will be a 6-month program. So every month we do 3 units. It's not too much about notes, Lama. You will have a summarized note. Now, for example, for unit 1, you have like a summarized short note of around 10 pages. And for every unit, you have a very difficult paper. That's the most difficult questions that you will find. And also, you have big papers at the end of it as well. I will go through that later, Lamai. We'll have another session to make a plan. For now, don't worry. But that's how it would go. So month number 1, we will do unit 1 to 3, month 2, 4 to 6, month 3, 7 to 9, month 4, 10 to 12. And then after that, Lamai, we will do our units are done. After that, we will do our mock exam series. So in the mock exam series, Lamai, every week, you will be doing 2 full papers. 1 full pass paper, you will do it again, plus 1 full paper that I have made. There, all the papers I will mark and give. So ideally, now, I don't know how much of time we will have by your year, but for the previous batch, we did 24 papers. So every week we do 2 full papers. You do 2 full. Paper. And then you have a 1 week of a gap. And then you have your actual A-level paper. That's how it would work. So when these 4 months are done, so 4 months kiyanne April, May, June, July. So by July, these 4 books are done. So each of these books are around 150-page big book. It has notes, questions, answers, everything. And once that is done, then from August onwards, it's completely mock exams, papers. In the fast track and the mock paper class, you will be doing the fast papers again as well. I'll tell you all that later. Right. So that's the plan that I have, Lamai, for the rest of the year until you get exams done. So theory and revision, I will not recommend you to join right now. Fast track is something that you can be a part of from April onwards. Even if you're going to maybe another class, you can still be a part of this, Lamai. That's not an issue at all. It will complement and it will add a lot of value. How does the fast track program work? There will be around 12 classes a month. 12 classes a month. You will get a printed book. You will get your study plan. You will get all the recordings of all the classes. So in terms of fees, I haven't finalized it yet, but it will usually be my theory and revision class fee. The combined fee is what I will usually charge. So it will be roughly around 5,000 a month. So that's 12 classes, books, answers, everything. Your papers will get marked. Everything will happen over there. That is April onwards. I'll let you know. Slots will be limited, Lamai, because I will only print a limited amount of books because you can't print 1 or 2 books, Lamai. So if I'm printing, let's say I print 300 books, that's it. Once 300 students join, registrations are closed. For that month, you will not be able to join. Okay, right. Then, now in the fast track program, Lamai, if you have not learned your theory, now let's say you're completely blank, then don't join the fast track. Borota, I don't want to tell you lies and get you to the fast track for me to earn money, Lama. I don't want to do that. Because the fast track, that's why it's called a fast track. It will be fast. So in the fast track, Lama, in 3 hours, I will summarize the unit. Now, unit number 1, theory class, we learned it in 10 classes. 10 classes in 3 hours, I will summarize. So in 3 hours, for me to summarize the unit, you have to know the basics of it. I will not be going through word by word, make. So it will be a 3-hour summary and then it's going to be papers. So if you have never learned theory, then fast track is too hard. Don't join. Too tough, not there. Fast track, I would recommend it to a student who is at least at a level of, let's say, around a 40, 50, minimum 40, at least 50. Let's say in a paper, you can score around 50 marks somewhere there. If you are there, then I will push you to that 90, 95. You can join even if you are a little below that. But I will not guarantee that 90, 95 then. You come at a level of, let's say, a 50, you're halfway there. Do all the work. By the time the fast track ends, if you have done all the work properly, follow the study plan, you will easily be at a level of a 90. That I will guarantee you. So then, if you want to cover up your theory, fast track basic theory karanna. If you want to cover up the theory, a lot of students do this. Some of you all are already doing. You can purchase my theory classes, recordings, and tutes. So you will get the printed main tute. You will get the recordings. You can watch the recordings unlimited times until A levels. Any amount of times, no problem. And you can get it covered. That is if you want to cover up theory. I have this option because I don't want your one to waste money on an individual class. Now, individual classes are very expensive. At least they'll charge you around 2,000, 3,000 per class minimum. But you can't cover a full unit in a day also. But instead of all of that, or even instead of giving up, you can get each of these units. You can buy it as a bundle. You can buy in total, individual unit prices and all. Maybe I'll send you all a different day. But you can cover it. It's the fastest and the cheapest way for you to cover things up. If you want to cover things up, let's say unit number 8, you want to cover things up, you purchase a recording, you get the printed tute from courier, it will come. And then what you can get done is, even within a week, you can finish a unit. There'll be around 8 to 10 recordings a week. So if you watch around 1 to 2 recordings, that's around 2 hours, little bit more. In a week, you can finish a unit. If you join a normal class, that takes so much of time now. So much of people, you all try to join the 2026 batch. How many of you are doing that by any chance? Have joined the 2026 class also to cover some past units for any other subject even? Have you all done that? So that's a waste of time, I would say. Don't do that, Now for the 2026 batch, you join and you cover in the 26 batch for me to teach a unit itself, it takes me around 2 months. So you have to pay for 2 months class fees, wait for 2 months and cover. That's a waste of time and how that goes. So how the unit is given, it's given at even a bit of a discount than the normal theory class fee also. The prices, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2,500 per unit. If you're getting 1 unit, tute, recording, printed tute and the recording is 2,500. If you're getting any 3 units, any 3 that you like, that's a 6,000. Any 6 units. If you're getting any 6 units, so maybe even unit number 1 to 6, that is the entire grade 12 syllabus. That's, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 9,000. Unit number 7 to 12, that is the grade 13 syllabus. That will also be a 9,000. If you get all of this, all the 12 units, it's a 15,000. So the entire syllabus is a 15,000, unit 1 to unit 12. That's 2 years of work that you can cover up. It might seem expensive, but trust me, there is no other way that you can cover it cheaper than this. You might get a very useless program that I don't know, but quality tute, everything covered from zero to scratch, you can get it done. Optional, if you want to cover, that option is there. I'll just let you know, from the last A-level batch, my last year's A-level batch, around 1,000 students. In my live class, there were around 200, 300. But there were so many people on the back end. They are not in any groups or anything. There were around 1,000 students who purchased these recordings and learned the units. So that is proof that it works, Lamai. Otherwise, 1,000 people won't buy. I don't do big marketing. I just tell my students in class, look, maybe a flyer or 2 will go. I never have cutouts or Facebook. I have never boosted anything, never done any sponsored ads. I just put a flyer over there. I am the one who designed all these flyers also. I don't have a separate designer. So even with all of that, if it works, it works. So you can trust me on that. If you're unsatisfied with anything, I will give you a full refund as well. I don't want to waste anyone's money. So that's what you have in terms of this. The recordings will have questions. It will have a bit of questions, not too much of questions, because it is the theory. The questions, fast track and the past paper class is where we will cover things out. Right. So with that, I will end this introduction part of Lamai. Is what I want to do. How do I manage time? Hard thing. One thing that I want to let you know is, Lamai, success isn't built overnight. You can't be successful overnight. What success for you right now might be different for what success for me is. Right now, if I'm looking at your perspective, for you, success could be getting a good A-level result, a good island rank, a good Z score, maybe getting into a local uni. That could be success for you right now. That success that is there for you right now, you can't build it overnight. Within a day or two, that won't happen. If you want to be successful, Lamai, there has to be consistency. You need to have that. You need to have the right attitude, and you need to be consistent with what you do. Now, right now, today, after this class, you're put up motivated. Mama plan. How many of you are now feeling a little motivated? I will get this done. 7 months to go. I will now make a plan from today onwards or tomorrow onwards. I will start studying. You are. But will that same motivation be there 2 weeks down the line? That's the question. Yeah. If you can have that down the line, that is where you would be successful. If you want to be successful, Lama, it's not just today I'm motivated. After this, I will finish all these papers. 2 weeks down the line, none of you all are there in class. Now, even some of you all, after the break, you will not be there, Lama. Now, note the number down right now in the Zoom class, there is 207. After I give you a small break, look at the number. Definitely much less. Some fellows have gone. They're other one will start from next week. Now I listen to this now. Next week, I will come back. I will start from next week. So some of you all, within the next 5 minutes, you will lose your motivation. But if you can keep that motivation going, if you can stay consistent, that is where you would see the results come. Not just A-levels, even with life. Now, I've seen that even with my classes. I've not done any major marketing. I have not even stepped into a physical class so far. I've done a few seminars here and there, but not a physical, normal, regular class I haven't done. But I started off with, let's say, 1-2 students, have come along the way. I haven't partnered with any other teachers. I just have my own institute. I don't have any other teachers in my own institute also, because I don't want that. I just want my piece to get things done my way. I don't want other people coming and doing this and that. It has worked for me. I have got things done. Started from the very basics, little by little by little. I know how much of time I would have put to make the tutes, to make all of this. It didn't happen overnight. Little by little by little by little. For the past 6-7 years, I have done it. I've got it. Same thing with A-levels, Lavan. Not overnight. It takes time. Consistency is what you need. You will have to wake up early in the morning. You will have to stay up late at night. When your alarm rings at around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Now, you set your alarm to study at 3 or 4. The moment it rings, you will wonder, why should I do this? Right? Do I really have to get this done? That thought will run. Some of you all will snooze and sleep. Some of you all will somehow wake up. One thing to keep it consistent, something that I did during my A-levels, is think of your parents. That is something that worked for me. Different of people of you all might have different motivations. I don't know. But for me, something that motivated me is looking back at my parents, how much they would have done. This is your last year in A-levels. Just think from the day that you were born until now, how much of things they would have done to you. How much of money they would have spent, Lama. You think working and earning and paying school fees to class fees to getting your food to ironing your clothes to washing your clothes and giving to everything. You think that's easy? Even right now, maybe some of you all, the ones who are fasting, you all would have seen. You wake at around here. You wake at around 4:30 now, the ones who are fasting. But your mother doesn't wake at 4:30, right? Your mother who cooks is up way earlier than that. For you to wake at 4:30 itself, how hard is it? At 4:30, you alarm rings and you're like 4:35, 4:40, you keep snoozing and you stay. But your mother is up way early. Same thing, right? Every day you go to school, your mother is not asleep. Just like you go to school, Lama, your mother is up way earlier than you, cooking and doing all of that, packing your tiffin and getting all of that. So that's the amount of effort that they put, Lama. So the biggest motivating factor to stay consistent, when you feel demotivated, when you feel like, should I do this? Always think of them. Walk around your house and look at what your mother is doing. They're always doing something towards you, even your father. So I think that alone will motivate you to get things done. It's going to be hard. If you want a good result, Lama, it's not going to come easy. It's going to be a lot of work for the next 7 months. But think of your parents. This is your last year of your schooling life. Give it everything you have. Give it your 100%. You might get a, you might get island rank, you might just pass. That's okay. But at least you're happy. You gave it 100% and you got that result. The moment you get your result and if you realize, I should have done a little better. Aparade me last 6 months, I didn't get it done. That is going to hurt. You might even get, let's say, a B or a C. That we can't change that. What's written for you will happen. But give it everything and get that result. But if you honestly give it everything, you can do way more than just a B or a C. A is your minimum target. Target for something much bigger. And I'll tell you that tear of joy that you will see in your parents' eyes the day that you check your results. Some of you all would have realized that. Did you all see that happiness in your parents' face when you checked your O-level results? Do you realize that they were more excited than you to get your results? Like you were avoiding to check the result and you didn't want to do that, right? But they would have been even more excited. Same thing happened with me for A-levels. I think our A-level results in my batch, it came at around 2 in the morning. I was not at all excited. I went to sleep at around 10 o'clock in the morning. I woke at around only around 5 in the morning. Okay. But my parents from late night, they have been trying, Lama. They have been trying to get the result. There is that message that they have to send. They have been sending the wrong message. The result hasn't come. So until from around 2 o'clock from the moment results were released until around 5 o'clock in the morning, they're trying different ways to get my result. That's how dedicated, that's how much they wanted to know it, Lama. And then somehow at around 5 o'clock in the morning, they woke me up and said, they have been trying, it's not working. Can you check and let me? And then when you checked and when you let them know, Lama, that tear of joy, that happiness in your parents' face, I think is unmatchable. I think that's something that you should work for. That's priceless. And at that point, you feel that you've done it. You feel that, yes, I have got this done. So that is something that you have to work for. So I got 3 A's. I was among the top 15 in the island. Z-score was around a 2.2. Can get into any local uni. Then went to Colombo. I got things done. So that's something that I want you to work for as well. It doesn't matter what you have been doing so far, Lamai. Until today, you would have been playing the fool. You would have been doing nonsense. That's okay. You can't change the past, but you can change from today onwards. So it's up to you. That's the intro. I took a little bit more time. I want to take half an hour. I took 1 hour, but I just wanted to get the message out. Because if you get this right now, that 30 minutes extra that I took will make perfect sense. Will change a lot of things. Right. So with that, we are done with the intro. Do you all have any questions before we start? Yeah, done. Right. So I'm guessing there are no questions. If there is anything, Lama, you can WhatsApp me as well, but I might get a little bit late to reply because you need to understand my WhatsApp is like a prostitute. There are so many messages that keep on coming. So for a day, I get around 100, 200 messages. Now, for these 3 hours, my phone is kept aside. So once I open my phone back, there's another 30, 40 messages that would have come. So it takes a lot of time now on my end to reply. I'll try my level best to reply, but I will somehow reply. I've done AAT is choosing CA or ICCA better. Maybe give it some time. Maybe not right now. After A levels, you can make that decision. How to write answers properly, we'll talk about. We will do that today. Okay. So with that, we are done. Was a college private? No, I didn't apply for it. I was just too distracted with so much other things around. Didn't apply. Right. So done. We'll wrap it up.